Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Wellness Webinar Series with our fourth guest. First of all, hello, I'm Jody Bentley, for you who don't know who I am, but I'm excited to introduce our guest, Laura Emanuel. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Jody.
Hi. Oh, I'm so glad that you are here. This is very exciting. So, for all of you who don't know Laura, you're about to know who she is. But also, I just have to share one little thing: is that she's also my accountability partner, and we talk almost daily to support each other as we pursue our creative careers. And all of you have heard me talk about the power of accountability. So, anyway, I'm really glad that Laura is here to share her expertise and her knowledge with you. So let me all know that you can see me and hear me before we dive on in. Okay, great. Amber said she's excited for this. There we are. Hey, Amber, great.
Yeah.
Yes, so thank you, Amber, for clicking that button. So yes, for those of you tuning in, we're using a service called StreamYard, which is really lovely. And I just need you to click a link so that way I can see your name. And then when your name comes in, I can share your comment on the screen. Laura can see it. And it's just kind of fun that way. So make sure you click that link as well. All right, so before we dive on in, let me just introduce Laura to you. Laura is an actress. She's a Reiki practitioner and sound healer. She actually earned her MFA in acting from Carnegie Mellon and the Moscow Art Theater School. And she lived in New York, where she co-founded the American Studio Theater. And since she's been in LA, Laura's worked in a lot of places, the Geffen, Odyssey Theater, Boston Court Pasadena. She was in the ABC Talent Showcase. And on the flip side of this, for her sound healing and energy work, she's a founder of Mystic Dirt, which is a wellness company dedicated to empowering others to deepen their self-care, self-worth, and self-love, which I think we all need some of that right now. And she first experienced energy work when she injured herself acting while she was in Russia. And that actually started her lifelong journey of studying energy and healing modalities and meditation. And Laura offers private sessions and workshops, workshop healing experiences using Reiki, which we're going to talk about today, crystal bowl, sound baths, guided meditation, and energy work to clear limiting beliefs. And that's why I'm really excited that she's here, because if you know my work, we talk a lot about limiting beliefs. And we're going to go a lot deeper on that today with Laura. So Laura, hi, welcome.
Hi, it's so great to see you. Actually, in July will be our 4th anniversary of accountability partners.
Oh my God, seriously?
4 years.
I did not realize it was that long.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? So I actually thank you all for kind of also being here as part of that celebration. Yeah.
Oh my God. We're crazy.
I know. That's a lot of accountability, folks. But it's been amazing. Oh, thank you, Amber, for her. I think we will keep going because it certainly has really supported me over the past 4 years. This space, and some of it is like, I think what we're going to talk about today. Like we talk about to do, but we also talk about to be.
Yes.
A lot.
A lot. Yeah. So let's dive on into some stuff. So I know you have so much to share with us today. And also Laura's going to be doing a guided energy healing with us, energy work with us, which is really exciting. So I want to front load this with a lot of content and info and your questions before we get into that. So Laura, how do you use Reiki in your everyday life? Why don't we start with that? Or we want to even start with what is Reiki for people who don't even know?
Yes, absolutely. I'm interested to know like what type of energy work people have used and know about, and if you know specifically about Reiki, it's really has become probably one of the most popular energy work. I think because one, it's so gentle and it's so accessible, and it really is something that you can take into your everyday life. You can study it and use it really for yourself. You don't have to become a practitioner to share with others. And in fact, I would say if you're looking to study, really look for a teacher whose main focus in the beginning is self-care with Reiki and energy work with. Oh, wonderful. There's somebody who said that they're a Reiki practitioner.
Oh, yay. Who was that? Oh, Inma. Oh, wonderful.
Wonderful. That's exciting because I'm sure, as you're aware, the collective energy and the circle that we're creating today on this call, like collective energy can be really, really powerful. So thank you all for being here. So Reiki started as a modality in Japan and has kind of had a lineage through Japan, really all over the world now. And so when you study with a teacher, usually that teacher has a lineage back through Japan. And the idea of energy, which some people will use the word light to visualize that. And so the word Reiki, Rei means like spirit and Ki means energy. So it can be spirit energy, life force, that little feeling when you rub your hands together and there's energy between it, right? And Reiki is a really lovely container to talk about energy in general. I'm sure most people have felt energy and have used energy in their body without, like, you don't need to be trained. Everybody has access to healing energy.
Sure.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and in fact, because that's what made, when you mentioned Russia, it just brought me back to my teacher. He was a movement teacher, and I injured myself. And the way that he introduced me to energy was by putting his hands around my knees with a little bit of space, and then sending the energy in between his hands through my body to help with the pain and the inflammation. Yeah.
It's pretty intense. So how do we, I've only had Reiki once, and I still haven't even had you do Reiki on me. So that needs to happen. But how do you, because you're talking about using this and regulating your own body. And I know we've talked about this a little bit, and I'm still wrapping my head around what that means. So why don't you share with people how do we do that for ourselves, I guess, or what's it for regulating our body?
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about the word regulation and dysregulation.
Okay.
Right? So dysregulation is a term that usually means when our emotions become very extreme. And we can go one direction, which is hyper arousal. And that's the extreme of that is going to be panic. Right? Mm-hmm. So you can think about something that causes you extreme anxiety, and then the way it manifests in your body is a panic attack. Shortness of breath, heart rate rising, getting sweaty, right? Then the other extreme of that is going to be hypoarousal. And that's really the extreme of that is going to be like paralyzed, where you feel that you're unable to move, either physically, spiritually, emotionally, energetically, right? And that I have some people in my life who, when they feel extreme stress, they fall asleep.
I feel like the whole world would be sleeping right now. If that was for everybody.
Yes.
Wow.
So the idea is to come to that center place where the body is feeling, the word that's coming up for me right now is like a spiritual or energetic fortitude, a strength, a balance. And the word regulation, so you're not extreme in any direction, but you're also not denying what the feeling is. So that fortitude gives you the container to be curious and to explore what your body is telling you.
Right. And you just tapped into something that I know we've talked about a lot, and I talk with my community a lot, is recognizing what we're feeling, right? And understanding that. And I mean, I think we can just talk a little deeper about that, because our bodies can really inform us so much, if we pay attention.
Yes. So, and I mean, I don't want to kind of villainize the ego, because the ego has certainly served, it keeps us alive, right? It helps us make decisions lots of times. But when we are feeling something that we don't want to feel for whatever reason, that's when the ego will come in and create the dysregulation. So the regulation can be a really gentle way through Reiki, because we can, like, for example, I can feel stressed and super tired, so I drink lots of coffee, right?
Mhm.
So that's going to get my body amped up, but it's going to still disconnect me from what the truth of my body is feeling.
Mm.
Or if you're feeling panicked, right? If you're feeling panicked, I could eat a lot of sugar to numb my body. Like the effect of sugar on my body is numbness, right?
Mm.
So I bring my body down to a calmer state, but it's numb and I'm still disconnected. So whatever is underlying is still there.
Right. Right. It's just a Band-Aid or a mask.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love coffee. I love coffee and I love sugar. So it's not to demonize anything we use to make us feel better. It's just that there's also other tools available. Because also if we're sitting in the doctor's office getting news we don't want to hear, right? We don't have things available to us. If we're reading the news right now with the state of the world, right? We don't always, and then we have to switch gears really quickly and go and record a self-tape or
Right.
go have a difficult conversation with somebody, right? Like what I love about getting in tune with this energy is that it's something that's always accessible.
I love that. I hadn't thought about it in that way. So I just want to say this was, I think, Coco said she did Reiki once. It was so powerful, especially because like Diksha energy, it goes exactly where it's needed in the body. Can you explain Diksha energy? Do you know?
I don't know what Diksha energy is.
Oh.
I don't know. Can you maybe?
Yeah, Coco, why don't you write that in?
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
I don't. But you're exactly right, Coco. I agree. It meets you where you are, right? So if you and again in such a safe, gentle way, which I think is really important because right, if we're talking about trauma, one of the hallmarks of trauma is that you feel helpless.
Right.
And so this is finding tools to help us feel empowered.
Yeah.
And to take that one step forward is really, really valuable right now.
Oh God, so much. So, and I was just going to say, like, this is such a great tool to have in your toolbox. I was actually just going to say that, like, especially, I mean, in life in general, but I mean, especially now, I mean, we've all been isolated for 3 months, with everything politically that's going on in the world. It's a lot that we're taking in all the time. And there's so many emotions that are here. So, as opposed to reaching for the glass of wine or the, cup of coffee, it's like, this is such a great additional tool just to have in your arsenal for self-care.
Yes, that's actually my intention today was just to kind of just introduce us all to this tool, and then at the end when we go into the healing meditation to allow us to kind of all experience what that regulation is, because there's the idea of success is transferable. If you have success one time, you can recreate it. Yes. And Amber, I love wine. Again, not demonizing wine, because there is absolutely the time and place for everything.
Yes. It's our my client happy hours on Fridays, so that's what she's doing.
Oh yes, that's right. That's right. But also if you're on set, right, or it's opening night, and your body is having its experience that happens when in these moments of our life. It's something that we can kind of tune into the body, because as creators, we are already in tune with our body, but we use our body to create.
Yeah.
And we want, the more accessible it is, the more free I feel.
Yeah.
So
how do we do that? How do we how do we honor our bodies and what we're feeling? I mean, I know it starts with awareness, but I guess how do I mean, this might be a general weird question, and you probably know better where you want to go with this, but how do we have the hyper awareness of our body and be present?
Okay, so this is actually where I think like the mind can really be our friend. Is to take the mind and allow it to shift to the body, and to shift to the body with compassion. And so everybody's going to have something different that resonates with you. But my mantra that I've been using, and actually it is a reflection of our calls, is the mantra of course I feel that way. For anything that comes up, of course I feel that way. If I feel shame, jealousy, anger, right, confusion, lack, of course I feel that way. Because in the past, what had happened for me is I would feel those feelings because I'm human. And then on top of that, I would put shame. And then nobody really liked shame. So then I would try to hide the shame.
Yeah. Can anybody relate to that? Man, it's a cycle we find ourselves in, right?
Yeah.
And it's up to us to break that cycle. Okay, keep going. I love this.
So that mantra is something that creates the compassion for me, creates the permission for my body to feel what I'm feeling, and the safety for my body to feel. And it was actually interesting. I was thinking about it this morning, that this regulation is something we were born with, because, and I'll tell your listeners that I have a little 1-year-old son, and I've learned so much about what our truest state is from watching him. And from when he feels safe and free and joyful. And in that moment, he can also, actually, he's not always feeling joyful. He just feels safe to feel whatever he wants to feel.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's like new moment.
Right. He feels it to the fullest and doesn't apologize for it.
Yes. He feels it to the fullest and doesn't apologize for it. And then, we bring in a new toy or I nurse him, and it's a new moment, and he's in that moment, and he receives that. And I was just thinking about that the way he regulates his body and the way he receives this regulation. And there is something actually called co-regulation with people. And it does happen a lot with moms and babies. When you're either rocking them or nursing them or calming them. And I do think it also happens, right, in these collective experiences. You go to the theater and you sit and we breathe together. Or we go to a music concert and we move together and we dance together. So these are ways that we co-regulate and we move into our bodies without forcing it, without even knowing it, really. So when we move into our body, though, like in a mindful way, when we choose to move into the body, then for me, it's about noticing the areas. Actually, sometimes what I do, and actually when I work with clients, sometimes we actually ramp up that feeling of whatever we're feeling. And it's not always a bad feeling. Like it can be a good feeling that for some reason I'm repressing or hiding, right? So we ramp up that feeling and then really notice, what is my body experiencing? Where am I feeling tight? Where are the blocks? And then asking that part of my body, what do you need? What is your message for me?
I love that.
So, and we all receive like our messages in different ways. So if you're going into your throat, right? Your throat might feel a little bit tight. Maybe there's a color coming up that you need. Maybe you hear a song. Maybe it's asking for more breath to breathe deeper, and open and relax physically. So one of the things that as we go into the meditation that I'll encourage you to do is be curious about how your body receives its messages. Are you seeing an image? Are you hearing a word? Maybe the word scream. Maybe you need to release it or release, right?
So really, what I'm hearing you say is like our bodies know, right?
Yes.
Our bodies really know. It's just about practicing the skill of listening. Is
Yeah.
that really, would that makes like, would that be a way to like start to approach Reiki on yourself? Is really that?
Yes. Practicing the skill of listening and being curious with the skill of listening, and then kind of amplifying. So if you're having a conversation with somebody, you usually ask questions. You say, "Tell me more.
Right, right,
Tell
right.
me more what's going on there." Right? Um, and if you're having, another way to approach it would be to think of your inner child, that you're having a conversation with your inner child. And when you're having a conversation with an inner child, um, you're also usually like more patient. You're you're maybe more compassionate. You might be hugging them,
Right.
right? Loving, right? Um,
I just laugh because
so
you said the word patient and how we get to be patient with ourselves. And I know I get impatient with myself when I want to do something or accomplish something and it's not happening. And I think a lot of people can feel that right now. So I love that of
right.
treating yourself with compassion and patience. Sometimes you have to think about, how would I treat my inner child, or how would I treat this person? Because I find we treat ourselves worse than anybody. You know?
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's habit. That's the amazing thing is that like if we have a habit, we can change our habit by creating new habits,
Yes. Yes.
right? So, but it does take practice. It does take accountability, and the willingness for it to feel uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. But within that, right? Then when we create this neutrality in the body and this compassion, this regulation, one of the byproducts can be we see more possibilities, because when we're in fight or flight, like
Mm-hmm.
literally physically, we start to pinpoint what we think is safety ahead of us.
Mm.
And everything, we get this tunnel vision and we just want to move forward towards that.
Right.
Um, and we're not able to see what could be over here and what can be over here. So
Right.
when we take this moment to come into our bodies, listen to our bodies, be curious with our bodies, all of a sudden there might be other possibilities that start popping up.
Oh, totally. Totally. I know when I'm
Yeah.
just 100% in my ego, all I see is what I want to see and what I think is right. And it's
Yeah.
so hard to be open to anything else. So,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, okay. So I'm going to put this up on the screen. Jackie asked this. I know this is what we're in the middle of talking about it, but we're talking about the tips on doing Reiki. So we were talking about, the awareness of what's going on in the body, really listening to the body. So what are other tips now to move forward once we sort of have that first layer, I guess? Maybe we can say that.
Right. Okay, great. So there are obviously different approaches. What is really resonating for me right now is the idea that this energy lives within our body and is accessible within our bodies first, as opposed to, right, we can amplify it by drawing the energy down or moving the energy up from the earth. And I love starting though with the energy inside of me.
Mm.
So that really helps me turn inward to
Mm-hmm.
see where the energy is. And actually, I was thinking about it this morning. Something that I've been practicing is starting where it's blocked first, rather than like you can start where it's blocked first, or you can start where it's really moving and then grow that energy. But I've been thinking about like, okay, if I start where it's blocked. So for example, if I'm some people, when they get really anxious, right, get a stomach ache and feel sick to their stomach,
Mm.
right? So we have that energy there in the body, and maybe that feels like, for me right now, that the images that's coming up is kind of like murky and brown and green,
Mm.
right? Like a not a vibrant green, but like a sickly green. But I really want that area to that seat of my body to feel safe. This is where we feel safe. So how do I take that energy. And what is my body asking for? Well, my body is asking for to actually maybe have a vibrant green energy, right? And then, or maybe if you're getting ready for an audition and you feel excited about something, and you're feeling that maybe a little bit, further up, that some people would think of that as like butterflies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I ask myself, how do I go into that energy and allow it to expand and generate more energy, and passion and presence, rather than disconnect me from my body.
Right. Not about saying, I feel that now. I can't feel this. I got to go do this, because then it just persists.
Yeah.
But breathe into that feeling and allowing it to grow. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So that might be like bright white energy, that as a ball that I see, and I see that ball of energy grow and that light expand through my body. And if I'm standing on the audition, maybe that light goes down through my feet into the earth, and maybe it goes up through my body into the sky and out through the heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then another area that happens a lot in the body is the throat, where we feel a lot of things. Feeling a lot of tension in the throat, feeling the throat close up, right? So for me, blue light is what I love to use and almost like water. Like, and actually you can do that. You can take your intention and your energy and send that into your water. Right? So, and then and it changes it, and then you drink it.
I love it.
So
I love it.
Right. And then there's also like, if the like tension or confusion, and that usually for me shows up at like in the top of my head. So that the light that usually comes up for me is purple, and opening, and like, and it can be different. Like I see shapes, and I see things that swirl. So for me, it's a swirling, almost cloud, almost like cotton candy, of energy that allows me to connect to my intuition. So these are just so these are the way we're talking about messages, and these are the ways that I receive my messages, right? And so if you go into your head and you feel this tension there, you might start with a light, because that's visual. Yeah. And then you might get a word. That word could be move or stretch or shift, right? And then so it could, you might see an image. You might see an image like something from your childhood, a book you loved, like Alice in Wonderland. Right. And so then what's the emotion that comes up with the image? Does that image mean for you adventure and playing with the unknown? Right.
What's the meaning within
within that? So
let me say this, when you're, because you're talking about like colors in different places that you see, but then you said the messages for everyone is different. So you're not saying, oh, when I'm thinking about, when you're thinking, if you are confused, you're not saying imagine purple. It's just, you're just literally being and seeing what the messages are for you. And that's going to be different for everyone.
Exactly. That's going to be different. Yes. And that's what will, as we move into the meditation, I think that will become clearer. Right. And if if you were experiencing a traditional Reiki session in person, what it looks like is the practitioner placing the hands either on you or above you, whatever is most comfortable for you, down different energy points of the body in the front, and then down different energy points of the body in the back. Yeah.
I think this
So
is a lovely segue, because I think it's one thing to like talk about energy work. It's another thing to do energy work, which is why I was so grateful that you wanted to do something on this call and not just have it be a conversation. Because I think now I'm all in my head about like, this is what it is, and this is what I get to see, and this is what I get to do. So I think
yes.
it's a perfect time to transition into guiding us to experience it. And then I'm sure we'll have some other questions on the other side. Does that make sense?
Great.
To move
Yeah,
there?
no, that makes perfect sense. You know, and when I'm working with whatever type of energy work, whether it's sound bowls or Reiki or other type of like past life clearings, right? Some of the invitations are that you are your own best healer. So trust what's coming up for you.
Yeah.
You are your own best healer. And that I find this work to be powerful, but it's not precious.
Oh, yeah.
So if a truck drives by and all of a sudden you're taken out of the activity, you know, the activity or the session somehow, right? Like that's part of it. It's not separate from it. And you can come right back into it, right? It's not like, oh shit,
It's done. Screw
it's
that.
done. There's no more energy for me, right?
So I don't have to light a circle of 42 candles and sit in the middle of it and dim the lights. It's okay to like just be
exactly. It's okay, and that's what I really want. Like, if there's nothing else, that's really what I want to impart, because then that means it's accessible to us at any time, right? And I think so many creators, we're empaths, and we feel what other people are feeling. So this is a really, really good tool to separate what somebody else is feeling and what I'm feeling, right? From what I'm feeling, and separate what, right? We feel collective energy. We feel energy that's passed down through our families, right?
Yeah.
Right. So this is a way to become aware of what is my own and what has been kind of a hand-me-down feeling.
Yeah.
Right. But also with that, the kind of the good news of being an empath also is that we have that power to also then transform the collective. I think there's a lot of right, a lot of talk being an empath of like, oh, I feel everything, so I have to step back. Well, there's the flip side of it. Oh, I feel everything, and I actually can transform the energy in the room.
That's power.
Yeah. That's power.
My client Ellen's comments aren't coming in through the what we're using, but I just wanted, she wrote here on Facebook, as a practitioner, can you do remote Reiki?
Yes.
I wanted you to answer that question.
Yes, absolutely. I do remote Reiki, and I do remote also just like energy work where we go into the body and see what the body is holding. And see what and I share with you the messages that are coming through for me of what I experience your body is holding. Because it's vibration, right? So feeling that together.
I love that. I'm going to show this comment. This is from Coco, and she did talk about what Diksha was. I just didn't put it up on the screen, but that was happening earlier. But I think this is just important, right? She just says, thank you, Jody, for being so open-minded towards it. I think she's talking about just energy work and spirituality in general. Before I met you, I always felt so alone with the belief that our creative work is spiritually connected. I'm happy I learn and grow from the ladies' experience. And I think I just wanted to show that, because I think sometimes, and I know for me for many years too, it's like, okay, now I'm a business owner, now I'm an artist, and now this is my spiritual self. And all three were disconnected. And I think the more I integrated all of them, I found more joy in my life and more balance in my life. And I just wanted you to speak to that, Laura, because I feel like this is such a great thing for you to speak to.
Well, it's certainly relevant to June 18th of 2020. Right? Because I know I want to show up as an actor and a mother and a friend and a partner, as my highest self. I want to show up, right? transforming the energy of my community, of the world. So it's we actually can no longer afford for it to be separate.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Because you get to walk on set and be a light. You get to, share on Instagram about what you're doing and what your beliefs are, and be a light for people and be active. You get to march and be active, right? It's all, and be there and transform the energy and share that.
Yeah.
So I think it's about who I'm being is no longer changing by what I'm doing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the world is asking for you to do that. Actually, the world is like craving. It's rising up this time of acknowledgement and reckoning and awakening, and asking for that.
Oh, I love that. I love that. All right. Well, I'm going to show this because Amber wants to do the activity.
Okay.
She wants to do and just be cognizant of our time. I think this is a good thing. So what I'm going to do, Laura, is I'm going to highlight you, because people don't need to see me as you're going through, and I'll let you take us through whatever you want to take us through to experience a little bit of what Reiki is.
Okay, great. So we're just going to take the first couple moments to turn inward into our bodies. I'm going to keep my eyes open, probably most of it. Sometimes I might close my eyes, but you're really free, of course, to close your eyes, open your eyes. You can lie down if that feels true for you. Just come to a place of comfort in your body in terms of how you're holding and sitting and lying. And as you come to that place, begin to notice your breath. And you can change your breath if you want. You can deepen it. But again, this is really about what is your rhythm of your breath. And we're going to begin to really turn our attention to the in-breath for the next 2 breaths. Now let's balance that out by turning our attention to the out breath. And now we're going to turn our attention to the transitions between the in and out breath. We're going to start with the bottom of the in breath. So when you breathe in, before you have that transition to the out breath, where does it live in your body? Now we're going to turn our attention to the transition between the out breath and the in breath. So you're going to breathe out. And in that moment in between breaths, just notice, where is that? Breathe out. There's just this like crest of a wave in between as you breathe back in. So we're going to continue to breathe in this space. And begin to play around with what energy looks like for you. So I'm going to choose an area of my body, and I'm going to choose right around my belly button, right underneath it. You can choose any area of your body. You can choose your heart, your throat, this core area. And just begin to notice a light there. Maybe you want to put your hands on your body for this. Just a little flicker of a flame inside the body. This flame can be any color for you, any temperature. Now allow that flame to grow and to begin to turn into a glowing ball, any size. Allow that ball to expand so it fills your front and your back body, wherever it is. Now here, before we take this ball of energy around our body, I actually am going to invite you to bring this ball of energy outside of your body, in between your hands, and feel that there. And maybe you want to play around with that a little bit. Make it bigger, see what happens to the energy. And bring it in and make it a little smaller. Now let's bring this energy back into our body. And see this ball of energy start to grow. And maybe this light, if it's a light for you, maybe it does expand a little bit past the body, maybe like 1 inch past the front body, 1 inch past the back body. So play around with that and see if you can see the ball inside your body that radiates a few inches into your aura. All right, and now let's begin to amplify this energy, this light. And we are going to amplify it by bringing energy from the earth up to meet this ball of energy. That strength from the earth, that safety. And now we're going to amplify this energy by bringing energy down to the top of the head. And as the energy comes down through the top of the head, allow it to wash over you as it meets that ball of energy in your body. It's going to wash down the front of your face, down your cheeks, down your jaw, down your throat, down your neck, down your heart. Amplify that energy. Now we're going to be curious and play with moving this energy around throughout the body. So allow that light to move. Maybe let's start in grounding in our hips. Bring that light into your right hip, your right thigh, your right knee, down to the tops of your feet, to the bottoms of your feet. And let's move over to the left hip, left thigh, the left knee, down the calf, the top of your left foot, and the bottom of your left foot. And if you're doing this by touching your hands to your body right now, you can touch both your hands to the bottom of your feet. And if you're doing this with energy, simply see that energy. And then you can see energetic hands if that helps you as well on the bottom of your feet. We're going to draw that energy back up the legs, up the knees, up the thigh, the hips, up into your seat. Now we're going to move to the upper body with this ball of energy. See it amplify and move into the chest, the lungs, your rib cage, into your heart. And again, I invite you, if it feels true for you, you can use your hands, or you can see and just see the energy move. This time we're going to start on the left side of moving it down the right shoulder, into the elbow, arm, your right palm. And here we're just going to complete the circle and move up your right palm, your right arm, your elbow, up into that shoulder, into your throat. And we're going to move that energy now up into your face, into your jaw, to your cheeks, your eyes, your ears, and the top of your head. And just take a moment to see what is true for you in your body. In this space, we're going to start to turn in to listen to the messages and see how our messages are coming through. And I'm going to share some of the messages that might be coming through for me. And again, the invitation is, if it resonates, wonderful. And if it doesn't, just let it fly away. So let's begin with seeing this light and turning into our third eye right in our forehead. And in this space in your body, notice if there's any messages coming through, any colors, any words or images, any feelings. Maybe your body is telling you in this third eye to trust your intuition. Maybe your body is telling you to be brave and to take a risk, to do that thing that you've been putting off, to just take that first step. And now let's come down into the jaw area and see what messages might be there. So some messages that might be coming through there might be about allowing yourself to feel sadness and to grieve during this time. And I'm going to move now this light down into the base of the neck. And for me, the messages there are about filling this base of the neck with light, a golden light. And conversely, this message is about celebration and allowing celebration for what is changing and unfolding and what you have created already in your life that is manifesting now. And then as we move into the heart, maybe the heart is saying and asking really for us to take care of our bodies with nutrition and movement, and to pace ourselves too, that we are in this game of life for a long time. It's a marathon. So saying, what can we do today for our health? And let's just sit in the heart for a moment while you receive your messages. And this heart energy is such a beautiful space for us to begin to wrap up this energy work that we're doing on ourselves. So I invite you to place your hands on your heart and allow that energy to radiate out just 1 inch from your body, around your heart center. And maybe you want to move that up a little bit into your throat or down your body. Now bring your hands back to your heart center and tuck that energy inside. Allow it to be contained. And whenever you're ready, gently begin to move your body, come back to this room, begin to open your eyes. Feel your breath. Maybe offer gratitude to your body for all that it is caretaking of you today. And we'll just close with a gentle bow of the head. Mm.
That was lovely. It's really lovely. Please let us know your experience with this work as Laura guided you through. We'd love to hear how you all felt about that. It's just so fascinating. I found myself like wanting to control the messages that I needed to hear. So that was a little push and pull in my own being, which I found interesting. I was able to tap into it at some points, but finding my Virgo brain wanting to control because I know what I have to do. You know what I mean? So I found that really interesting. I don't know if anyone else experienced that. But yeah, this was really, really great. Someone just said amazing. Thank you.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I would invite you, maybe you do know. Maybe your brain does know.
Okay. I started to put a judgment on it. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's
That's maybe we do know, right? Yeah. Like maybe, or if we say, oh, I know, and then what else? You know?
Mm-hmm. And what else? Yeah, exactly. Keep asking the question. And for me, and please let us know if you felt this, like when the energy was moving and then it like hit the spot in my jaw and like I instantly welled up with tears. And I was like, okay, there's something there that I need to learn and I don't know what it is. I got a couple messages, but I want to spend more time in that area to see what that was. Cause that was when I was like, oof, that really hit me. Great. Someone just said so beautiful and peaceful. Who was that? Oh, that was Inma. Hi, Inma. Wonderful. And Jackie said amazing. Thank you. So Laura, how can we continue this work? Well, before we go into that, I do want to say this. Laura is offering, so let me get my paper up here, that 3 participants of the Wellness Webinar Series will receive a free 1-hour energy session with Laura. That's incredible. And everyone who part of the series will receive 20% off a 1-hour energy session with Laura over Skype or FaceTime, so you can see her, she can see you, which is wonderful. I'll be posting a form in this live as well as on the landing page, which you'll all be getting, and you already have. So if you just refresh that link, I'll be adding this video there later, and you can click the form and fill that in to enter. And when are you deciding on who those participants will be?
I think next Thursday. I think we have a week.
Great. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's just saying thank you. Alana says she wants it. Amazing experience to feel. Yeah. Don't you all feel so much more grounded and in tune right now? Like, I just feel my whole body vibrating. It's really lovely.
Yes. Yes. That's the whole thing, is this vibration. And I mean, I love using the crystal bowls, like when I'm able to be with people. Like, I think the crystal bowls are amazing because you can just access that vibration so quickly, right? This type of energy work, I think, is more of a practice, and just a surrender, a saying, yes, I have it. I have this energy work in me, and it's always accessible. Of course I have it. I am a vibrational being.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I literally just got chills when you said that. Like, it's such a, like, and that took you what, 15 minutes to walk us through that? Like, amazing if you gave yourself a gift from a practitioner doing that to you once a month even, but then knowing that you have this ability to tap into your body. It's just about giving yourself time and space and permission to do it.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
It's interesting. I would be interested to see also, when people now go in and check your email and your phone right afterwards, right? I'll be interested to see what came through, what literal messages came through in your inbox as well.
Now I want to look.
I know. So just as a fun game.
I know. I just want to share this. Sydney says, I feel grounded and connected to the universe, but weirdly light as a feather at the same time. Oh, I love that. Love that. Thank you for sharing that,
Thank
Sydney.
Thank you.
You just said next time, speak to us of your use of sound. I know Laura does a lot of sound bowls. You do a lot of that stuff on your Instagram as well.
Yes. Yes. You can go on my Instagram and you can see I have some,
Is it just your name? I'm forgetting.
It's my name with an L in the middle.
Okay.
Laura L. Emanuel. So yeah, so I have videos up there of the sound baths in my IGTV. So you'll see that, you can see them on the grid, and it'll take you to the IGTV. So
I did that right, Laura Ellen. Perfect. And you can see her son comes in and starts to play some bowls at some point.
Yes.
Training him young.
Yeah. Well, the whole pregnancy I did sound baths. And I had this idea that maybe like when I was in labor, I might have a sound bath. That was not really realistic, folks. Or just say, see, I'm practical. Like, I have crystals, but I'm practical. I was we never used. We took the sound bowl to the hospital, but we never used it.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share this. I just you said Laura is pure peace. Thank you so much. Oh, who said that? I can't see who said that. That was so sweet. So Laura, explain like how people can work with you. I know we're going to do the form and people can fill out, but what does that look like when someone works with you? I know we're a few minutes over, so thank you for staying, and everyone, thank you for continuing. But I think it's important to understand, like, how would you do this work with someone? Is it similar to what we just did?
It is similar to what we just did, but because I'm working one-on-one with you, I'm going to tune into what your body is sharing with me, and I'll share with you the messages that are coming up that I'm receiving specifically for you. And some of that could look like colors. Actually, some of that could look like past life experiences that we want to clear. Some of that can look at like where we're energetically weak or strong, because there's this idea that we give our power away to our limiting beliefs. So that's what I really like to work on in these one-on-one sessions, is like, what is that message and what belief is around that message, and where are we giving our power away to that message, and how do we clear that, right? How do we say, no, thank you. That message served me before, but I don't need that message now.
Yeah.
You know?
And I have to say, even in this, you doing this, sorry to interrupt you, but when you were saying what messages were coming through for you, like there was literally a moment where you said something and I had that message at the exact same time, which was crazy pants. to me.
Yeah. It is crazy. I'll tell you, yes, sometimes I still am shocked at how specific and how specific the messages can be and how random they can be too.
Yeah.
So yeah, to people. So
Oh, Laura, this was so lovely. Thank you so much for sharing your energy, your creating space, right? Even someone just on Facebook, Ellen just on Facebook, oh, it went away, but she was just saying how lovely she could feel like the collective energy of everyone who created that space. So just thank you for giving us all some respite in the middle of these crazy times to actually tune in and give us permission to do it. Sometimes I know I need permission to downshift. So I thank you, and I'm sure everyone else thanks you, and just for sharing your insight on all of this, because this work of self-care, man, it's taken me so many years to realize how much of a necessity it is in our lives, and especially as actors and artists, as we're putting our beings on the line every day and sharing our energy and our craft, as well as showing up in the world for what we believe. And it's just so important to do this. So thank you. So is there anything well, okay, one person question, confirming we can do this remotely with you over the computer.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And in some ways, I think people really like it because then you're in your space and like you can, right, instead of getting back in the car and driving through LA traffic, right, you can be in your space and go and take a nap or take a bath or journal, right, or whatever it is, immediately your space is accessible for you for whatever is coming up. So I think that's actually a really added bonus of the virtual sessions.
Yeah, I think it's an added bonus of the world right now. I'm enjoying being home. I gotta say, I'm enjoying making my space and my time my own, which is lovely. And that's what you're saying, right? How can we create our own space and our time and our energy and nurture that? And it's so lovely. So this was great. Any last minute thoughts you want to leave to our community?
I just want to thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, everyone else who, who created this collective energy. And Jody, just this webinar series I've been tuning in and is really a gift to the community. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for that. It was great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for giving your time today. And our final wellness webinar will be next week with Brooke M. Haney, who is an intimacy choreographer. So we're going to talk about how, sets and theater is going to look and what our role is to, stand up for ourselves in terms of intimacy and how an intimacy choreographer can support us in that. So I'm really excited to see what she has to say to wrap this up. So great. Everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you again, Laura. I will see you all inside the Facebook or on our trainings. I'll see you all again soon. So have a lovely day. Bye.
Bye.